Welcome to You're Cordially Invited, the show that brings you candid and informal interviews with some of the best wedding professionals in the Washington, D.C. metro area. We hope that you enjoy the show, and at the end, we hope that we have inspired you to take these individuals along on your next social affair. Welcome to You're Cordially Invited, the show that brings you candid and intimate conversations with some of the best wedding and event professionals in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Today's show, we are talking to someone that helps you to feel beautiful inside and out, and that is Miss Shaune Hayes. She is one of the best makeup artists in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Welcome, Shaune.
Thank you, Tara, for having me.
You're welcome. And as always, you're glamorous.
Thank you.
And thank you for making me glamorous today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Okay, so let's get to know who Shaune is.
Okay.
Give us a little background history about who you are and how you got started in the industry.
Okay. Well, I've been a makeup artist for about 10 years professionally. First started out as a hobby, just doing my makeup and doing my friends' makeup. My first makeup job was getting hired to do makeup for a hair show. And from there, I was like, okay, this was pretty fun. I got paid as well, so that was a nice little part of it. But I really just started enjoying doing makeup and fell into doing bridal and absolutely loved it. So started out doing a couple of brides that I had just known as friends, and then from there it was, you know, I really enjoy working with brides. So that's kind of what I started to specialize in as far as working with bridal brides on the wedding day. And then so from there just went from hobby to now it's my full-time job. So I've been full-time for 3 years.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, today we're going to talk about brides,
Yes.
but I know that you do more than brides.
Right.
You do for any type of occasion,
Absolutely.
anything that makes a woman look glamorous.
Absolutely.
She does men sometimes too.
That's right.
You know, we need a little
Grooming.
Yes, just a little grooming. So when brides come to you, what are some tips that you give to them to prep their skin before they come and sit in your chair?
Right. So, well, first things first, I do tell the bride that the makeup only looks as good as the skin underneath. So, you know, I can put makeup on all day long, but if the skin is not in the best condition, then I feel like the makeup suffers in a sense. So the first thing that we do from day one, from the trial when we're doing our initial consultation, is to address the skin. So I kind of find out what skincare regimen they're on, and if I can make suggestions as far as, you know, things to add to that skincare regimen. So from cleansing to toning to exfoliating on a regular. A big part is to kind of clearing up any type of skin issues they may have, whether it be discoloration, pigmentation, skin texture issues. We really try to address those by making sure that they're on a really good skincare regimen. So from the trial to up to the wedding day, I'm just kind of following up with them, making sure that they're taking the necessary steps that they need to take. I do have a skincare line that I recommend, you know, for those that do not have their own products. So tips are definitely just cleaning the skin, drinking lots of water. I cannot underestimate that because it makes a big difference. And then just exfoliating so that it helps with the smoothness and the texture of the skin. Okay. So those are some of the things we try to talk about.
And I know that they should be doing this every day, but in preparation for a big day that's coming up, how far in advance should they start doing these regimens?
I would say at least 3 months, because the thing with skincare is that sometimes it may take a minute for you to see changes, and you don't want to, you know, a month before your wedding, you know, trying to get your skin together. So I would say at least 3 months. Let's really look at addressing the skin and seeing what we can do to make it look its best by the wedding day.
Okay. And on the big day for the bride, what are some of the services that you provide to her on that day?
Right. So I am a makeup artist. I do makeup only, but my team, we do hair also. So we offer makeup and hair. We go on site to the bride. We provide, as far as our makeup package, we include lashes for the bride to enhance the eyelashes, complete touch-up kit so that if they need to touch up their makeup, they'll have a powder, they'll have lip color and blush as well, and blot papers for any oiliness. And again, we go on site, so they have the convenience of us coming to them wherever they're getting ready on the wedding day.
And does every bride need lashes? I'm just asking that question because I think they tickle.
I'm I always say yes for lashes because I feel like mascara at the end of the day it only does so much. I love mascara and I pile it on myself, but at the end of the day in terms of giving volume and length it only does so much. So because there are different types of lashes, we can do something very natural to dramatic. So I'm always going to push for brides to have lashes.
And how far in advance do you arrive on site to get them prepped and ready?
So that it really depends on how big the wedding party is. So we service not just the bride, but the bridal party as well. So if it's only a bride, then I'll maybe get there a couple of hours before she has to be ready. You do have to take into account if they're taking pictures, so then the timeline has to be backed up a little bit further. If it's a bride and a wedding party, it really again it depends on the size, how many people we're going to end up doing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then as far as, and I think we've discussed this before, as far as the type of brand of makeup that you use, or when brides, ask, do you use a specific makeup? What would you tell them at that point?
Right. So I let them know that my kit is full of professional makeup products that get me the results that I need as far as what I'm trying to do. So that could be a mixture of, not to drop any name brands, but I do have a mixture of brands in my kit. So from, professional brands to even some of the more cosmetic consumer brands, all of that's in my kit. If there's a certain type of brand that maybe their skin works better with, or maybe they have their own makeup that they prefer to use, as long as the color and the coverage works, I do consider using their makeup in those instances. So for those that have really sensitive skin and they just don't want to have any reactions, I will consider using their makeup if it works. So, but all the makeup I use is hyperallergenic. It's it's not going to cause allergies or things like that. So, yeah, so it's a mixture.
Well, yeah, it definitely answered my next question because I was going to ask you about hyperallergenic.
Yes.
And then as far as the brushes and stuff, do you use your own brushes or does the client have to bring in their own brushes?
So I use all of my own brushes, and the brushes are sanitized between clients before I get on site. Everything has been cleansed and sanitized, so do use our own brushes.
Okay. And then another technique as far as applying makeup is airbrushing. Kind of discuss some of the pros and cons of airbrushing.
Okay. So I would say some of the pros are definitely airbrush gives a great flawless finish. So if you're looking to have that for your wedding day or special event, airbrush does give a flawless finish. It is very lightweight in terms of how it feels. So I can give really good coverage with airbrush, but it will still feel very light, as if you don't have anything on. It's long lasting. Airbrush makeup will definitely last. So for brides that really want that, don't have to worry about touch-ups or whatever, airbrush will definitely do that. As far as cons, it's more expensive just in terms of the equipment that's used, and then also the airbrush makeup is a lot more expensive than traditional. So it is a pricier service. As far as wear, the thing you have to be careful with airbrush makeup is that it won't come off by dry rubbing, as if, when you hug someone. You don't have to worry about it coming off. But what can happen is with sweat or with tears, it can run. So, you do have to be mindful in terms of when you're crying. It can cause streaking. So kind of knowing how to touch it up, is one of those things that you have to be mindful of. And then another con will probably be the lack of really being able to touch up airbrush. So with traditional makeup, you can take your powder and you can press and kind of, blot away oiliness. But with airbrush, once you set it, that's it. So you have to be, just in terms of touching up, you just have to
be very meticulous,
and careful. So if you're crying, just kind of using your finger and just kind of pressing the tears into your face. So, yeah.
Interesting. So for that bride that comes to you and say, "Oh, I don't want too much makeup. I just want to feel natural."
Right.
What do you say to that type of client?
Well, I try to get a sense of what they mean by natural, because natural in sense of makeup and photography means two different things. Majority of the brides, when they say natural, they want to look like they don't have a lot of makeup on. But then you also have the natural for photography, where you have on a lot of makeup, but you're using natural tones and it comes across, just really, still like yourself, but enhanced. So I just try to get a sense of, well, what do you mean by natural? And so a lot of them, they don't want to feel like they have tons of makeup on. So I tell them, with it being the wedding day, you're being photographed a lot, you're going to be videoed. So we'd have to do more than what you do on a daily basis. But because of the techniques and the products that I use, it will not feel like you're just caked on with makeup. So, once I kind of assure them that, You'll still look like yourself. Your fiance will still recognize you. Then they're a lot more comfortable with the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then I've noticed that there are plenty of girls out there now that they have tattoos on their bodies. How do you hide the tattoos, or do you even find yourself hiding tattoos?
Right. So we do tattoo cover-up service. So that's one of our a la carte services. So in covering it up, it depends on the size and the color of the tattoo. So if a tattoo has a lot of color, you have to first neutralize those colors so that whatever foundation or concealer I'm putting on top of that, the color doesn't show through. So I like to use airbrush when I'm doing tattoo cover-up because it's very quick. And it, again, it doesn't rub off by dry rubbing. So, but yeah, tattoo cover-up's easy. It's not impossible.
Okay. Do you find yourself doing a lot of that?
Not really. Maybe small ones, but for the most part, people let their tattoos still show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the different types of skin types and skin pigmentations, are you versatile in any type of skin color?
Absolutely. We service everyone from, Caucasian to Asian to Hispanic to African American. We cover the range in terms of our clients. And as far as the products we use as well, we can match any skin tone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then as far as determining what color you're going to use on that person that particular day, how do you figure that out?
So I try to get a sense of, I do like to know kind of what their wedding color is, or wedding, color pattern is going to be. Not to necessarily match that, but just to kind of get an idea of the feel that they're going for. So as far as brides, I really take into account their skin tone, their eye color, what colors are going to complement their eye color. And then if they're going for a certain type of look or feel, maybe a vintage look with a, smoky eye, pop of red lip. So a lot of that's taken into account, but I don't match the wedding colors, but I try to complement them based on their eye color, skin tone, things of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you suggest a trial makeup session for your clients?
Always. I feel like the trial is our chance to kind of get to know each other, to see if we're going to be a good fit. They're interviewing me. I'm also kind of interviewing them at the trial as well, because I really believe in having a good working relationship with my brides. So I insist on doing a trial. And I also think it's important for them to see how they're going to look, on the day of the wedding in all of their glory. So we do complete makeup. I don't skimp. We do lashes, everything.
Okay.
As far as at the trial. And then if they're doing hair as well, you have the hair to take into account too. So
how do you remember, like, from the trial date to wedding day to kind of get it all the same? How do you remember all that?
Right. So I take pictures, and then also I have a face chart. So whatever color we used on the eyes, the foundation, everything is written down. So I have that to reference.
Awesome. And as far as the makeup services that you do offer, you mentioned that you use eyelash extensions. What are some of the other services that you provide?
Right, so eyelash extensions, we do have skincare services that we offer to kind of help our brides or clients get their skin in good condition. I'm trying to think what other, airbrushing, that's another service that we offer. Touch-up services on the day of the wedding, so some brides may want me to stay and do touch-ups for the pictures. So we do offer touch-up services. And I'm trying to think, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and then groom, make up. Some of the grooms do.
They get a little touch-up.
Yeah, they want a little touch-up.
So they want to look glossy in front of the
so
camera.
we have grooms makeup as well. So
Okay.
Yeah.
And once your clients, you've made them even more beautiful than what they are, what is it that you're wanting them to feel once they've had your services?
I want them to feel like you at your most beautiful. That's part of what my company's mission and philosophy is. When my clients look in the mirror, I want them to see themselves, but to see an enhanced version of themselves. Still look like themselves, but just see their features kind of popping out. So maybe it's the eyes. I want them to, see how gorgeous their eyes are with a little, maybe a smoky eye, or if they have full lips, let's kind of, show how those can look beautiful as well. So, or maybe it's great cheekbones. I'm contouring the cheeks so that they can see how gorgeous their cheekbones are.
Show off their dimples.
Exactly. So I really want them to look like themselves, but at their most beautiful.
Okay, wonderful. So how 3 words to describe yourself. How would you describe yourself?
Professional, personable, and passionate.
Okay, all right. I love it. And how do you stand out from other makeup artists?
I think I stand out in terms of customer service. I'm really big in providing my clients with a service that they would only want to come back to me for. I follow up with them, I get back to them. I'm very accommodating as far as on the wedding day. I also, again, making them look like themselves, but at their most beautiful. A lot of them say, I want to look like me. I don't want to have makeup caked on. So I'm really big in listening to my client and then working with them to kind of come up with that look that they feel like this is it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Wonderful. And I know all we've talked about is just brides on the wedding day. So before we close out this segment, kind of tell us, besides brides, what type of person can hire you and what type of event can they hire you for?
Gotcha. So in addition to brides, I do makeup for prom. So I get a lot of my prom girls,
Okay.
calling around May, June. I do makeup for production work, for TV. I work a lot of government agencies as far as, makeup for that. Photo shoots. Do a lot of photo shoots, even with guys. They need grooming, light powder, headshots. I've been hired to do headshots. I've worked with some celebrities here and there, so they can hire me too.
Well, we like that.
Yes. So, wow. I mean, for just about any and everything I've done makeup for. So even like little kids' parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how far out in advance can someone book you?
Oh, I'd say the sooner the better. It really depends on when their event is and my availability. So I'll definitely say inquire sooner than later.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how can they find you?
They can find me online at ShauneHayesMakeup.com, and
Okay.
that's SHAUNE, Hayes, HAYES, makeup.com. I'm also on Instagram, Shaune Hayes Makeup, Twitter, Shaune Hayes MUA.
Okay.
I'm on all the social media sites.
Which is
my
how
name.
the world is going.
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, I do want to thank you for coming into the studio today to kind of
you.
let us know who you are and the type of services that you provide.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to feel beautiful, even more beautiful than what you are, please get in touch with Shaune Hayes, makeup artist. She's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can find her everywhere, and she is looking forward to make you beautiful. That is the end of our segment. I'd like to thank those that helped to make today possible. I'd like to thank Frame Magic Productions, DC Reynolds, and also Miss Shaune Hayes, makeup artist. Thank you, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.